Hey everybody, this is GGB, co-host Puppers, and today we're going to be getting into the fourth quarter of this MAC Ravens at the Independent Chiefs game. Going to get to see Mr. Skinny Andy Reid. Doesn't happen very often where we get to see a skinny Andy Reid, but that's what we're going to see today. John Harbaugh obviously has a right, and oh my god, what is happening? It's just horrifying. Why is everyone frozen? This is scary. Scariness. But obviously, as you can see, the Chiefs have sold out Arrowhead for this playoff game. They're excited because they have a chance to move on to the next round and play. Who would they be playing? They'd be playing the number 2 overall seed in the Big Ten. They're excited to do that. They have a chance to prove themselves against a very, very good Big Ten team who actually won the championship last year. So, actually, it's going to be very interesting next week. We're going to get to see the divisional rounds. We get to see the number 1 overall team, the SEC Browns, get to take on the Mountain West Saints, and we also see how well they play this weekend. Anyways, let's see what happens here with Taysom and Jamal Williams. Okay, he hands it off, and he gets tackled almost instantaneously by Mr. Khalil Mack, who is really the only redeeming factor on this defense. Actually, that's not true. I'm excited to see how the MAC defense grows with Max Crosby and Sean Murphy-Bunting. Maybe they'll get some players this year that can be helpful on defense, and they can do better next year, considering they're 0-1 in the tournament so far, and we're probably going to go 0-2. Okay, so he throws it to Mr. Will Fuller. I think that was Fuller. And Taysom's just dominating. It's kind of scary. I'm like thinking, I don't know how the Independents are going to keep 3 quarterbacks in the NFL always. I mean, Taysom's going to be a star, obviously. But DeShone Kizer, I bet he's going to fade to obscurity at some point. And then adding on top of that, you have Josh Woodrum. He's going to leave at some point. And I don't know if Notre Dame will probably send another quarterback in. I don't remember his name. Ian Book, I think, is his name. And he's not bad by any means. He's actually a pretty good quarterback. So he'll probably play some, but Woodrum's probably going to leave at some point. And I don't know the Liberty quarterback, but I feel like he's not going to make it into the Madden game. Same with the New Mexico State quarterback and the Army quarterback, who's probably not going to even try to get in the NFL because he's Army. Army guys always go serve in the military. Not always, but most of the time. But yeah. So, this team's gonna fade, probably, I think. Taysom won't stay. He missed a wide open guy. But he's only missed 6 passes today, has 230 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. He's having a pretty good day. He's having a fantastic day, actually. 38-7. By the way, all 3 of those touchdown passes went to Mr. Golden Tate. So, you can obviously see which receiver is absolutely dominating this game. So, they bring a 4-man rush. He has all the time in the world. He scrambles and kind of just slides for a 1-yard gain. Normally, he's been great on the ground. That was not a great decision there, considering it was 3rd and 11. He just kind of slid to make it 4th and 10. But, actually, again, with Ben Roethlisberger at quarterbacks, no one's out of the game, especially that guy throwing the ball around. So, see, it looks like they're going to try to go for a block here. He definitely, but forced a bad punt. Catches it, 49-yard line. MAC's going to have it on the Independent side of the field. See Mr. Big Ben Roethlisberger trot out here as 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions in the game. 9 for 18, 137 yards. So he's not having a great day, but if he drives the ball down here, they're down by 31 right now. They make it a 24-point ball game. That's a 3-possession game. So, this is a 4-possession game right now, which a lot of people would say, yeah, that's a lot of possessions, honestly, though. So, anyways, Big Ben drops back to pass. He reads the field, takes a quick little pass to Kareem Hunt, and he picks up a good 12 yards on that play. So, he can just keep a drive alive here, get a touchdown here, make it a 38-14 ball game, this can be a much closer game, considering it'd be only a 3-possession game at that point. And you can make up 3 possessions in a quarter, much less 2 quarters, basically. So Kareem, he's like, to Fred Warner, just juked him out of his shoes. So let's see what they do here at the 37-yard line for the Independent Chiefs. So Big Ben, looks like it's going to be a pass here. They should always pass, really. The fact that their ground game's gone nowhere all game. Yeah, okay, they ran it, and that's just a mistake. Look at 13 rushes, 22 yards. That's bad. It's not great. It's actually horrible. They're not even averaging 2 yards per carry. So, obviously, that's bad. The Independent Chiefs defensive line has played extremely well, which kind of makes sense with Stephon Tuitt and Ziggy Ansah, who are actually pretty decent pass rushers. So they go draw here. Actually, Kareem. Oh, what a move by Kareem Hunt. Should have went more to the outside, but I'm not going to complain. He just juked that man out of his shoes. And that was actually a great play call. I don't think they expected a run here. So, look at this juke move. Just destroyed that man. And if he runs to the outside, he might be able to outrun Daniel Sorensen for a touchdown. Just absolutely juke Julian Love out of his shoes. Luckily for the Independent Chiefs, Daniel Sorensen was able to stop it from being a touchdown. So they're at the 18-yard line. They can get a touchdown here. Then they can make it a 38-14 ball game. So Big Ben looks like he's ready to pass. Actually, he goes option, and he runs it all the way down to the 3-yard line. Mr. Big Ben Roethlisberger. They're running the Lamar Jackson offense for him, and actually it's not working out horribly like I thought it might. He's just like, I'm going to outrun everyone. Slide at the 3-yard line. Go Big Ben Roethlisberger. He's rumbling and stumbling to the 3-yard line. So they bring in, I don't know, fullback and a tight end. I don't know what this formation is, honestly. So they go run with Kareem Hunt. And he gets it all the way down to the 3-yard line, exactly where they were. So they're at 2nd and goal again. So let's see what Kareem Hunt and the Ravens can do on this 2nd and goal. Let's see if they can punch it in. You need that final W. I agree with you, fan in the stands, for the Independent Chiefs. But like an overtime game. I love overtime games. So they hands it to Kareem. He gets it all the way down to the 1-yard line. Let's see if they can punch it in on this 3rd and goal. Make it a 38-14 ball game, which would be a 24-point ball game, which is a 3-possession game. So I have noted before. Which means that the MAC is not out of this game by any means. So they bring a fullback on the field, I think, and Kareem. So he goes option, and Big Ben just rumbling and stumbling and bumbling into the end zone. Making it a 38-14 ball game. Granted that Jameson Vest, I think is his name, makes this extra point. Just finds the hole. Boom. Right past Mr. Ziggy Ansah. His real name is Ezekiel Ansah. So let's say if Steven Means and the Baltimore defense can stop them. Let's see if Tyree Jackson can hold this correctly. He's only held it once before, and he holds it perfectly. Good job, Jameson Vest and Tyree Jackson. I don't know if we're going to get to see Tyree next year, considering he's an XFL player. Good job, Brian Winters and Josh Klein and all those guys. Good job. Make it a 24-point ball game, which could be a 4-possession game or 3-possession game, depending on how you want to look at it. Because you can go for 3 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions, and then that's a 3-possession game. But also, you're probably not going to want to go for that this early, so probably a 4-possession game is likely here. But you're going to get 4 more possessions, most definitely. It's just your defense needs to hold up against this pretty stout, the way they've been playing, Independent Chiefs offense. Theo Riddick has been running well, and so is Taysom, and he's been able to find his, like, today Golden Tate has only 3 catches for, 33 yards, but it's 3 touchdowns. That's what's would be awesome for you if you have a fantasy league. You'd have like 18 points plus 3. You have like 21.3 points. That's a pretty good day for a receiver, not gonna lie. So let's see if the MAC Ravens can stop them here. So let's see. He snaps it. He hands it off to Theo Riddick. Yep. And he gets stuffed almost immediately by Mr. Jimmy Ward. Jimmy Ward is also a pretty good player, I think. In my opinion, I think he could be pretty good for this MAC Ravens team. So this looks like another run, but I think they might go play action here. Or no, they go pitch. Oh, and he has the edge, but I don't know. 20's the one that was able to stop that. Jamal Williams had the edge on him. Honestly, you wouldn't be having a great day fantasy-wise with Jamal Williams. You'd have like 8.4 points. That's not great. But luckily, you'd have that touchdown to make it a little bit better for you. Taysom would be having a good day for you at quarterback. You wouldn't want to have Big Ben on your team, though. So they bring a blitz here. He has time to survey the field. Throws it right to Mr. Will Fuller. He's having a pretty good day himself. 5 receptions, 57 yards. Unfortunately, you'd be having a better game with Golden Tate. That would be the better receiver to have right here. He's not having a bad day, but honestly, you get points per reception, so Golden Tate would have more than 21.3 points if you were playing in a PPR league. MAC Ravens defense would be having a bad day for you, but if you had the independent Chiefs defense, you'd be having 2 turnovers and only giving up 14 points. You'd be having a pretty good day on defense if you had anyone on the independence team, really. If you had the independence defense. So let's see. They're going to run it here. They go Theo Riddick. And he would be having a not good day for you if you had him at your running back position. But of all 8 running backs, or there's more, but having this wild card round, why would you pick him? You could have Rashad Penny, Jay Ajayi, Marlon Mack. Could have had Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon is obviously the best running back that we've had so far. The best day a running back's had in this wild card weekend. And I'm not sure if anyone's going to be able to match him. He had a fantastic day on the ground for the Big 12 49ers. And you could also have Aaron Jones. And then come to this game, I think I would have rather had Kareem Hunt, honestly, but he's obviously not having a good day, considering how bad the offensive line's played. That's another catch for Mr. Will Fuller. He's at 67 yards now, so 6.7 points if you haven't had him in fantasy. Obviously, there's no fantasy league for this Madden tournament, but just thinking about it, he'd be having a pretty good day. Although, I feel like you'd rather have Golden Tate, even though he hasn't caught as many passes. And then, obviously, Taysom is one of the best quarterbacks you could have in the entire wild card weekend, really. I think I'd rather have Taysom, maybe Derek Carr. I think Derek Carr had a great day with Mountain West. Ooh, stuffed immediately by Mr. Trayvon Hester. Stephen Means, Ulysses Gilbert, Jatavis Brown. So let's see what the independent Chiefs do here on the ground. Taysom drops back to pass. He has forever to... Oh, they left him open. That's a... Ooh, what a juke. Juke that man out of his shoes. And look at that. Taysom on the ground has 92 yards, not including the passing yards that he has today. He is having a fantastic day. I just don't know if I'd rather have him or Derek Carr. I don't remember Derek Carr's stats, but he had a great day as well. I would actually not want Mahomes on my fantasy league. I don't think I would ever say that in real life. But looking at this week, both those guys had better weeks. And we're going to get to see in the divisional rounds 4 great quarterbacks we're going to get to see. We've only gotten to see like 1 or 2 starting caliber quarterbacks. And we got to see Derek Carr, and we got to see Mahomes. And Mahomes is awesome. We got to see him throw the ball around. And we're going to get to see Jimmy G let's see, on Tuesday. But in the divisionals, we're going to be getting to see... I'm just going to assume that the Sun Belt's going to lose because Sun Belt lost horribly last year. I think in the middle of the coronavirus spread, another touchdown. Actually, first touchdown for Mr. Theo Riddick, making his day a little better. And it's just... poor MAC. They have some work to do next year. They got to get some better players. Their offense, honestly, is strong. If they could just keep their offense intact, get some stronger defensive players. I think just Big Ben had a bad day today. And if I played this game over, it'd be a lot closer considering how great Big Ben is. But we're not going to get to play it over. So we're going to get to see the MAC next year. But looking at the divisional rounds in a few weeks, let's see. Wait, anyway, so we got... Today and Monday, we get this game, MAC at Independent Chiefs. But then we're going to moving on to the Sun Belt at FCS/Division 2/Division 3. So that's all the smaller schools. And we're going to get to see the quarterback being like Jimmy G. We get to see Austin Eckler and, what's his name? We get to see Cooper Kupp and Adam Thielen and Tyreek Hill. So it's going to be an explosive offense, and the defense isn't bad either. So, okay, so we're going to get to see a return here. So I think that's Mr. Roosevelt next. But assuming the FCS wins, which they just dominated against the Sun Belt last year, and I think if the Sun Belt wins, I'm going to stick by this bet too. I will lick my street lamp. I will lick my street lamp on the outside. I will film it, and that will be our intro of the first divisional round weekend. I just don't think that the Sun Belt has a chance in winning, because the fact is you have the two worst quarterbacks in the entire NFL because they have no quarterbacks in Madden. No quarterbacks. This Independence team has 6 teams, okay? And most of the team is built up of BYU and Notre Dame players. That's 2 schools. The Sun Belt has so many more than that. They don't have a single quarterback in the NFL. So I had to make Brandon Silvers from Troy. So anyone who watched the XFL knows Brandon Silvers from Troy. He might actually be in the Madden next year, so I gotta hope so. And then I got Levi Brown from Troy as well. I just looked up 2 Sun Belt quarterbacks. Sorry. And they just don't have enough players for their offensive line. They have 6 offensive linemen. So I have to add offensive linemen, and I bring in safeties and corners to play offensive line. It's just not great. That team will probably be a permanent 12 seed. It has some real work to do if it wants to get back up to really high level of play. But assuming that happens, let's see. Tuesday's when we'd start it. Wednesday, ooh, what a throw to Mr. Tyler Conklin. And if Conklin gets better, his offense will be even better next year. And I just feel like this game just didn't work out because Big Ben didn't play well early. But I feel like next year, if I played this game over again, I'm pretty sure it'd be much closer than this. Because Big Ben is just a really good quarterback, honestly. And he just had a bad game today. But if you can... The only problem I have with this team is if you can get a better offensive line. And if Conklin can get a little bit better. But they still have so many downfield targets. They have Antonio Brown. They have, I think, Kenny Golladay got his first catch. And you have Julian Edelman. Or never mind, that's Antonio Brown. Sorry, 19's Golladay. But you just have Kareem Hunt's a great running back. It's just if you can improve the offensive line a little bit. Because there's still some really good players on the offensive line as well. And even the fullback, Roosevelt Nix, he's a pretty good fullback. So, we're going to have a very good MAC team next year. At least I think so. And this is their window. They're starting to lose their window, so they got a better start. start playing really well. But anyways, let's see. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's when we're going to get to see the Sun Belt at FCS. But then we get to move on to divisionals Saturday. And we're going to get to start with, we get to see Mountain West at SEC. That's going to be really interesting. Derek Carr versus Matthew Stafford. Second catch for Kenny Golladay. And honestly, I don't understand. They got to get their receivers more involved. This is not like the corners for the Independents are so great. Honestly, nobody on this team is that great. I'd say the defensive line's pretty good with Stephon Tuitt and Ziggy Ansah. I'd say Fred Warner's really good, so I'd obviously avoid the middle linebacker area. But honestly, attack them deep. I feel like Antonio Brown and Kenny Golladay and Julian Edelman could snag some deep. Let's see what they do here. Looks like it's going to be a run. So you run it with Kareem, and he gets stuffed immediately. But we're going to see Mountain West at SEC, so it'll be very interesting. We're going to get to see a lot of starting quarterbacks versus starting quarterbacks, that'll be our first game in this series where we get to see a starting quarterback go up against another starting quarterback in the real world. So we get to see Derek Carr versus Matthew Stafford. It'll be very interesting because the SEC has a really dominant defense. Just absolutely dominant. They have a great defensive line. Imagine you have Von Miller and you have Myles Garrett and Chris Jones and Geno Atkins. It's just an amazing defensive line. And then it's not like the linebacker core is any worse than that. You just have and then Stephon Gilmore is on the team. It's just such a great team in general. This might be the SEC's year to go all the way. Oh. I don't know if he crossed that goal line, but that was definitely close. Great catch by Antonio Brown. It's only his third catch of the day, which is why I feel like they're losing here. But I think that's all you need to do is work on just their offensive line. And then if you could get good players on defense. Because right now you have Khalil Mack, and that's really it. But Max Crosby and Sean Murphy-Bunting, they could both grow into really good players. And then you have 3 solid players on your defensive side of things. That's just all I think you need to do. So let's see what they do here. I think I'd go slant with Antonio Brown. That makes the most sense to me here. Slant AB. Don't run it. Okay, don't throw it. Don't throw it to the slant. And he throws it to the slant. And that is a bad read. That's so bad. If you get it in there, let's see, it's 21-45. That's a 24-point ball game. Again, that's a 3-possession game, and you'd be going into the fourth quarter, so you just need some big stops on defense, but you'd still be in the game. But unfortunately, he throws the interception. It's great coverage by Fred Warner, and Sion Takitaki ends up getting the pick. But we're also going to get to see the Big 12 play the ACC. Just going to be great. I don't know if you guys know, but we're going to get to see the first time ever in this tournament, we get to see starting quarterback Patrick Mahomes play starting quarterback Lamar Jackson. So that'll be a really great game. We get to see those two playmakers go up against each other. And then we'll get to see, after that, get to see the Big Ten and probably the Independents here. No, I'm just going to call it. I think they're going to win. But we get to see the Big Ten and Independence. Oh, he goes deep. Yep, caught. Will Fuller. All the way. Going all the way. Touchdown. 80 yards for Mr. Will Fuller. Who is now sitting at around, let's see, he got an 80-yard catch. He was about 67, I think, before. So 80 yards plus 67, I believe that's 147. So you'd be sitting at 14.7 points, but then you include the touchdown he got, so that's be 20.7 points. Add the points per receptions if you're playing in a PPR league. So you'd be having a very good day with Will Fuller. Or Golden Tate at this point. You just wouldn't want to have anyone on the MAC, really. And Taysom, you'd be having a great day with Taysom. I think Taysom's probably having a better day than 4 touchdowns. I just don't know if the Mountain West threw 4 touchdowns. Let's see. I know he threw 2 to Rashard Higgins. He threw 1 to Ben Coit. No, he threw 1 to Josh Oliver. I think he threw 1 to what's his name? Jacob Hollister. So I think they'd be having a roughly the same amount of day touchdown wise. I don't know how many yards the difference between yardages. But Taysom's having a great day. And then we get to see finally, probably the FCS is going to win, so I'm going to assume that. We're going to get to see the FCS/Division II/Division III Packers play the Pac-12 Panthers. In Pac-12, we're going to get to see Aaron Rodgers versus Jimmy G, which is that replaying the NFC Championship game with except instead of Jimmy G playing for the Niners, he's playing for the Packers. Instead of Aaron Rodgers playing for the Packers, he's playing for the Panthers. I want to see this return. Man, okay, there's one thing I think the Independents definitely need to work on in this game. It's the fact that they couldn't kick. Their lives depended on it. Anyways, we just have a few seconds left here. Guys, they're probably going to run it to run out the clock, if we're going to be honest here. But, anyways, I'd just like to say, please like and subscribe. It makes me feel so much better if people are watching these videos and I'm not just wasting my time. It definitely feels good to not waste time. Actually, never mind. It feels great to waste time, but anyone who's ever wasted time knows that. But please like and subscribe. It makes me feel so much better about myself and my channel. I know I'm getting a few more viewers here. Tim and other people. I just remember the name Tim. But honestly, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. It's very fun for us to do this video. So, anyways, this is GGB, co-host Poppers, saying adios, amigos.